Hello everyone, I'm Matt Mitrovich, the alternate historian. As a general rule, I don't like to post videos about the same time period back to back, but HBO is making me break that rule. On July 19th, HBO announced a new show by the Game of Thrones showrunners David Benioff and D.B. Weiss called Confederate. As you can probably guess, the show involves an alternate history where the Confederate States of America won the American Civil War and has survived as an independent country to the present day. Slavery still exists and has become a modern institution, but appears not always well, because a third American Civil War is brewing. And to answer your question, no, I don't know anything about what happened during the Second American Civil War. Now, I can be very critical to American Civil War alternate histories, but my initial reaction to this news was, that could work. Confederate has a lot of things going for it. Both Benioff and Weiss have proven they can make epic television. Plus, it seems like they have been working on this idea for a while, and although no scripts have been written yet, they obviously have some idea where the story is going. More importantly, this is a completely original concept, and for everyone tired of all the adaptation and remakes, it's refreshing to see a completely untested idea get made. HBO has also produced some great shows in the past, but very few alternate histories. The only one that comes to my mind is the 1994 film adaptation of Robert Harris's Fatherland, a murder mystery set in Berlin where the Nazis were victorious in World War II. Fatherland, however, got mixed reviews and has largely been forgotten, even among alternate historians. A part of me has to believe that HBO wouldn't take such a risk on alternate history again unless they believe this could be something worthwhile for their audience. In fact, the American Civil War is a great period to showcase because many Americans think they know enough about the war, thus HBO doesn't have to waste time trying to educate their audience on a period of history they don't know much about. But that also presents a big problem as well. Much of what Americans think they know about the American Civil War is based on misconceptions and outright propaganda. Today, there are many people, both inside and outside the alternate history community, who downplay slavery and glorify the Confederacy. Why else would we see such outcry over the removal of Confederate flags and monuments? So I can understand why some of the reaction on social media to the announcement of Confederate has been negative, with some even going as far as calling for black actors to boycott the show. The scars caused by slavery in the Civil War continue to be felt even today. Worse, there are many people out there who don't see the antebellum South as a bad place. Is it any wonder that Gone with the Wind, a film that romanticizes Southern plantation culture, continues to be viewed as a masterpiece? Additionally, while stories where the Nazis winning World War II are almost always treated as nightmare realms, there are a fair few stories where the Confederacy winning the American Civil War makes the world a better place, a belief I mocked in my last video. Thus, when people hear that two white men are making a show about black people being enslaved in a Confederacy that won its independence, I can sympathize with people who don't think it's a good idea. And yet I can't help but think that the reaction to Confederate is a bit unreasonable, almost like saying George Orwell is a Stalinist because he wrote 1984. For one thing, Nichelle Trambell Spellman and Malcolm Spellman have been tapped as executive producers and writers for Confederate. Both are African Americans who have worked on successful television shows in the past. Benioff and Weiss also appear in interviews to understand that slavery was a bad thing and don't want to give anyone the idea that Confederate will glorify it. So the idea that Confederate is going to be some white supremacist fantasy is incredibly unlikely. In all likelihood, Confederate will be a dystopia. To be honest, when it comes to HBO's Confederate, what I'm most worried about is that it's just going to be boring. American Civil War alternate histories are some of the most written about alternate histories in the English language. So much has been written about them that there isn't much left to talk about anymore, in my humble opinion. Even Confederate's potential point of divergence, where Lee's Special Order in 191 is not found by the Union, and thus leads to Confederate victory at the Battle of Antietam, is a popular point of divergence, and was used most famously in Harry Trodo's epic Timeline 191 series. Even the idea of looking at slavery as a modern institution has been done recently in the 2004 mockumentary Confederate States of America and Ben Winter's Underground Airlines. Still, that doesn't mean there isn't some room for originality with HBO's Confederate, and the fact that a network like HBO is tackling alternate history again is a sign that our favorite genre is becoming more mainstream, and that is a good thing. And if they do end up revisiting some old cliches, that is to be expected, since Confederate is reaching a far wider audience, and many viewers won't have any experience with the common American Civil War tropes us alternate historians are used to. Nevertheless, if Benioff and Weiss were to take my advice, and there really isn't any reason for them to do so because they're the ones with the successful television show and I'm just some jerk with a YouTube channel, it would be to surround themselves with smart people. Hire Civil War historians as consultants, but none of those lost cause losers. Tap some experienced alternate history writers as well to point them in new directions. Most importantly, hire more African Americans to work at every level of this production. This is a great opportunity to show how powerful alternate history can be when it comes to teaching people that history is never set in stone. Well, that is what to say on the subject. If you like what I do, please comment, subscribe, share this video, support me on Patreon. I'm Matt Mitrovich, the alternate historian. Bye.